توفنا على الإسلام وبعثنا على الإسلام وأدخلنا الجنة بسلام اللهم آمين أما بعد. First of all, inshallah, tomorrow we have our community night. It's basically the family night. Inshallah Rabbil Alameen, myself, Ustaz Safi, Mufti Sajid, Ustaz Sophia, we're going to be here. It's going to be the multi-purpose hall, inshallah. The dinner will be served, and this is a program for the whole family, inshallah. So we'd love to see everyone tomorrow after Salat al-Maghrib around 7:30, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Actually, Maghrib is a little bit before that. Okay, so continue with our series. We're focusing in the emotions in the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about one of the human emotions. You know, we've talked about anger, we've talked about forgiveness, we've talked about optimism, hopefulness, basically. We've talked about jealousy. We've talked about, different type of feelings and emotions Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran. Today, I actually going to talk about another emotion in the Quran that I recited in the first and second rak'ah. Okay? The first and the second rak'ah, I mentioned and I recited that feeling, that emotion, which is an-nadam. We call it in Arabic an-nadam. An-nadam means what? Regret. You know the feeling of regret. All right? And this is a common feeling that all of us, have, all of us go through, all of us, like we experience in our daily lives. There are a lot of things that you and I regret on daily basis. Like, something probably you've done today and you've regret that you've done it. Something from the past, something when you were young, something, it's always going to happen, okay? That you do something and then you regret it. Okay, so there was a khutbah series that I have had in this masjid, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. It's called the top 5 regrets of the dying, for those who remember. Basically the book that I commented on, which is written by an Australian nurse. She interviewed the people who were terminally ill. They were given few weeks to live. And basically, if you can you Habibi, can you go out, please? Yeah. So they were given a few weeks to live, and then she asked them about the regrets of the regrets in the past, and then she documented everything. She compiled in a book, and she called it the top 5 regrets of the dying. And most of them were dunya related, right? So I actually spoke about 5 of them in the khutbah. There was one that I did not speak about. Perhaps, inshallah, in the future, we're going to dedicate khutbah for that. But the regrets of people according to Quran. What does Quran say about regret? And if we are like to look at the ayat of the regret in the Quran, what is the nature of the regret? Okay? So today I recited in the first rak'ah, يقال ربنا إنا أطعنا سادتنا وكبراءنا فأضلونا السبيل ربنا وقالوا ربنا آتهم ضعفين يقولون يا ليتنا أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول. That basically those who follow the elite, those who follow the tyrants, the oppressors, the evildoers, they followed them in dunya, so they actually regretted this. They said, يا ليتنا أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول. Instead of following them, we wish. The word regret in Quran is always laytana, laytani. I wish I have. We wish that we've done so and so. So they said, we laytana أطعنا. We wish we obeyed Allah and His Messenger rather than obeying, these people. They misguided us. They misled us. All right. يا ليتنا أطعنا الله وأطعنا الرسول. That was the regret. The second ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لِحَيَاتِي وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمْ. When, may Allah protect you and all, may Allah protect all of us were actually going to see Jahannam. That's Allah's promise in Quran. وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. All of you will actually get like an overview. You'll be able to see it, but doesn't mean that you're going to be in it. May Allah protect us. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show us how Jahannam looks like, how difficult it is to be in Jahannam. But if your amal is good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, because of your amal and because of my rahmah, you're going to actually be in Jannah instead, right? This way you know the value of Jannah, subhanAllah, because you've seen the bad, right? Now, when you see the good, like subhanAllah, when you grow up in tough environment, and then after that you move to a much easier environment, then you appreciate that environment, because you've gone through tough times in your environment, the previous ones, right? So when Allah shows you people, وَإِن مِنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا, everyone is going to be exposed to Jahannam, just to be able to thank Allah Azza wa Jal for being in Jannah after this, right? So here, وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمْ, when Jahannam will be presented in front of people, يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لَحَيَاتِي, we wish, or I wish I had presented for my true life. Because the true life, ikhwani akhawati, is the life after death. Okay? That's the true life. This dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called it what? The enjoyment of deception. Mata' al-ghurur. Any mata' or enjoyment, and if you have in this dunya, it's an enjoyment of deception. It's temporary. Okay? You're going to feel it temporarily. After this, what's going to happen is going to vanish, and then you're going to look for another enjoyment. All right? Whereas the enjoyment of al-akhirah is permanent. You never get bored of it. Okay? Every day is like a new day to you. Every experience is like a new experience to you, subhanAllah. So here in the ayah, يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي قَدَّمْتُ لَحَيَاتِي, I wish I've really presented on my life, right? You focus so much on building your own house. You want to make it beautiful. You want to furnish the house. You know all of that. But we forgot that we have a permanent house, or a long-term house, which is basically al-qabr, right? Al-qabr is also the house. So as much as you focus on your dunya house, and you want to make sure that it's beautiful and mashallah, no flaws, when people look at it, they say mashallah, it's beautiful. We want to also to make sure that the qabr, which we're going to be there for a long time, right? Remember that some people have been waiting in the qabr for thousands of years. Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh, and the Sahaba of the Prophet ﷺ, and the people who died way before that, they're actually in the alam, the world of al-barzakh, the world of the qabr. They are waiting there. They're taking a break. Not taking a break. It's a pause until the day of judgment. So I want you to think of the qabr like this. You want to furnish the qabr, but how can you do that? Obviously, you're not going to put, like the ancient Egyptians, they used to take like the gold and stuff with them, because they believed that the hereafter, that they're going to be resurrected again. So they will actually take everything back. And by the way, that's a history here. That's actually the reason why they built the pyramids. Okay? They built the pyramids for that reason. They built the pyramids because they wanted the pyramids to actually, they wanted to save and store the gold and jewelries and food and everything in the pyramids. Okay? It's not, they didn't build it so we can go visit it and take pictures. That wasn't the purpose. Okay? And they have the Sphinx. Do you know what they have the Sphinx? You know what the Sphinx is? Turn into like history class now. You know what Sphinx is? Sphinx? Sphinx. You know what the Sphinx? You know that shape? Uh-huh. Yeah, the Sphinx right in front of the pyramids. When you look at the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, you will see it's like guard. It's the body is the body of what is that? Like a lion or something, and the face of an animal. Okay, they put it because they wanted to save their belongings. All right. So when people come from afar, they see, oh, there's a guard. There's a huge guard in there. So we're not gonna come closer to the pyramids. That's a theory behind the pyramids. Okay. And by the way, most of their monuments and everything, they are South Egypt, like about 1,000 miles away from Cairo, except the pyramids. Why? Because they were not able to safeguard and maintain the tombs in there. People would still steal from the tombs. Okay, so they said, you know what? It's not going to work in South Egypt. Let's go to Cairo and Giza, and that's why they transferred the rocks all the way to Giza over there. Okay, so they were not meant to be there actually. They wanted them to, to be away. They wanted to hide them, so nobody steals them. And guess what? The pyramids are empty now. These people are like mukhmafi, majnoon. The pyramids are empty. There's nothing. I went all the way inside. I swear I felt like there was no oxygen. I was going to die, and then I came out. There's no jewelry. Okay? There's nothing. So that was the superstitious, subhanAllah, the way ancient Egyptians thought about life after death, right? So for us, the qabr, we don't take our belongings with us. We take the amal, we take our salawat, our sadaqat, our treatment to our parents, husn al-birr al-walidain, fairness with your spouse, with your children, amana, ihsan, all of these amal, that's the furniture for your qabr, okay? Otherwise, the regret is going to happen. Oh, so I focus so much in a house that I'm going to live in for a few years, and I forgot a house, a place where I'm going to be there for perhaps thousands of years. Allahu Alam. Okay? So the regrets, ya ikhwani, in the Quran always related to akhirah, not dunya. Okay? So that's what we've talked about today. Alhamdulillah, the feeling of regret, it could be good, it could be bad. If you regret and you learn from your mistakes and you move forward, alhamdulillah. If you get stuck and dwell in the past and you keep on just regretting, then you're not moving forward and you're not benefiting from your regrets. And the most important thing is, we should not regret anything in dunya. We should only regret missing out on our salawat and our amal. If you miss out on your amal, you regret. Otherwise, كل من عليها فان, and then eventually we're going to meet Allah Azza wa Jal. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who work hard for akhirah, ya Rabbal Alameen, to beautify their homes, ya Rabbana. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite all of us in Jannat al-Firdaus. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. History class, huh?
History class, good, yeah.
Yes.
That's Spinex, right? Like you're talking about the front one, yeah.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Let's fix.
So tomorrow, yeah. Tomorrow is that, so is it like bring the entire family?
Huh?
Bring the entire family?
Family, yes. It's a family program.
Yeah, but
family night.